Hello, my name is Wanjiro Moredi of WINENJIRU Exclusives, and welcome to another show of the Conversations with WINENJIRU. We are taking time to have conversations with different players in the wines and spirits market in Kenya and learning about their journey, what makes their companies unique, so that we can get insights into how to do business in the wines and spirits industry in Kenya. Today, I'm so privileged to have one of the top companies in the wines and spirits space, and we have their business development manager. She goes by MK, Meera Karia. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Wanjiro. Thank you for having me.
And I should say, welcome back from the UK.
Thank you so much.
How was that? Tell
It
us
was
a bit about your
amazing.
trip.
Thank you so much for having me. UK was nice. I actually went for my daughter's engagement and her graduation, so it was celebrating two big occasions for me. So it was really nice. It was springtime. Absolutely enjoyed, and I enjoyed some lovely wines as well. So that was the best part.
That was the best part. Okay, are you going to be telling us about some of those wines?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay. And congratulations,
Thank you so much.
congratulations on your, daughter's engagement.
Thank
And
you.
of course, more so her master's graduation.
Yes.
What a journey it has been for
I
you.
know she's a highly qualified lawyer now. That was a big thing for me.
Okay. Congratulations, mom and dad.
Thank you.
Now, a lot of us were not born into wine. And you've been with this company for how long? How long have you been with Viva Global?
I have been with Viva for 17 years now.
You don't look a day over 17. I
Married-
can tell
married
you
to the
that.
company.
You're really married to the company.
Yes.
Yeah, it wasn't your first job. What were you doing before that?
So I'm actually from India. When I came to Kenya, I had to start very much from scratch, understanding the culture, the people, the country, the ways of working here. So it was a huge change for me, but it all happened at a very early age. I got married about 19, so I had
Wow.
a very early start in my career. I joined a mineral water firm, a popular mineral water firm, and I did water for about 7 years.
Okay.
I was the first regional manager for Nairobi and Mombasa, and I learned the markets. I learned the FMCG sector in Kenya, and that's how I got into beverages.
Okay.
And eventually, then my daughter was born, and of course, motherhood came up, and then long hours, and then I wanted a slight change, and this is how I happened to get into Viva. And here I am, 17 years, and absolutely enjoyed the wine journey. Slowly learned everything myself, and of course, with the help of my team and my colleagues and wonderful suppliers. So it's been a long journey
Okay.
overall. So yeah,
You're probably one of the few people who has worked in the industry that long.
yes.
So we'll call you the glamour of wine. Since we don't want to call you grandmother of wine, we'll call you the glamour. But what a privilege to
Yes.
be able to come. How would you go back to India? Can I ask that?
I know. Kenya is home for me,
Kenya
will
is
always
totally
be
home
home
for
for
you.
me.
Awesome.
So I love this country so much.
Okay.
I absolutely love working with people around. And I think it's a beautiful industry, just the wine industry itself. I have always enjoyed it.
Yes.
And wine is something that you keep learning all the time,
All
and
the
I'm still
time.
learning. So
Yes.
looking forward to my WSET level 3 soon. So it's like art. It just doesn't end. There's always something more and more to learn about wine.
About
So
wine.
yeah.
Definitely lots to learn, and we're glad that you're one of the WSET, that's the Wines and Spirits Education Trust graduates.
Yes.
So when you joined Viva, take us through your journey, because you're business development manager now with a great team below you.
Yes.
But was it always like that at the beginning? I'm assuming there was a very small team back then.
Oh yeah, I remember we had a very small office when I just started. We were in town in Posta Psycho Plaza. Our team was, I think, just about 10 or 12 of us. Today we're about 60 of us in the team.
Wow.
And with a much more bigger portfolio. But very proudly speaking, I think Viva was one of the pioneers in the wine industry in Kenya. So our CEO brought in wines from Spain, started with one container, which was, I don't know if you remember, the Baron de Vals.
Okay.
We started with the Spanish wines, and slowly it just grew. But initially, when I started with the company, it was just red, white, and rosé. This is how people knew wines.
Yes.
Today, we're very happy to see even people like yourselves bringing in education programs like the WSET, which is educating people, the Kenyan audience, on different grape varieties, making people understand that wine is much more deeper than what it is. Grape varieties, regions, educating them on the different levels of wine. So it's nice to see also hospitality coming up, different cuisines coming up, different chefs coming in. So there is a demand. So, like I said, work has always been fun, challenging, of course, but wine is fun.
Wine is fun. Wine is always, always fun.
Yes.
So let's talk about Viva Global. If I think about the history of wine in Kenya,
Yeah.
of course, we always start with there was the Kenya Wine Agency,
Yeah.
which was the only organization I think that had the mandate to bring wine or
Yes.
produce wine in Kenya.
Yes.
So at what point in time did you get into the market after them?
So we've been in the market for about 22 years
Wow.
now. That's
Yes.
a long time. And like I said, we just started with red, white, and rosé table wines, and slowly, it just grew. And being 22 years in the market, we learned a lot. We learned about the demand. We learned about what Kenyans like, what is it, what kind of wines do people want, price points, different countries of origin. And here we are, we're representing some of the largest wineries in Kenya.
In
Yeah.
Kenya.
Yeah.
Yes, you have some big brands.
Yes.
Perhaps take us through how do you select who to work with? Because I mean, I'm sure you're getting emails every day
Oh, yeah.
or getting contacted as one of the big players in the market.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, people wanting to have their brands. So what's your philosophy or how do you select what brands you list
Yes.
and represent in the country?
So initially, like I said, we started with Spanish wines, and then we started with Chilean wines. We just started it. We just thought, let's see how this goes, and we saw that Chilean wines grew very well in this country. Then, of course, South African, which is one of the leaders in if you look at the category of country of origin, South African wines play a huge role. But as in how hospitality grew. And different cuisines and chefs came up in the country, we saw a demand of other countries of origin queries coming in. Do you have French? Do you have Australian? Do you have New Zealand?
Yes.
And answering your question of how do we select these partners, we first of all evaluate and see what is the demand, how much is the demand. Because we're a company mostly that works B2B, we also take opinions of our distributors. Do you think this is going to work well? We work with a lot of food and beverage managers and directors, and we ask them, what is it you want? What sort of price point you're looking at? And then based on that, we then do our research. And then a lot of, like you said, we get thousands of emails. People all over the world want to work with us. But like you said, we're pretty selective about who we want to work with because we want to give the right brand to our consumers.
Okay.
That is very important because we understand Kenyan taste profile now because we've been long in the market. So we know mass market, what is it they want? What is it the hotels want? What is it the restaurants want? Things like that is, I think, we do a lot of study and research before committing to any brand owners.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're one of the companies I would say that has been very lucky to work with portfolio brands.
Yes.
And you have big marketing budgets. I remember, is it in 2019 when you hosted your own sort of wine show? Really,
Right.
it was the Viva Global Wine Show, and it could
Yes.
have been. It could have been like any wine show around the world because of the portfolio of brands you had there.
Yes.
So tell us a bit about that portfolio. So you have DGB from South Africa.
Yes.
You have Treasury, Premium
Yes.
Wines. You have
Conchitoro,
Conchitoro
yes.
and the like. Yes.
So some of the companies, the largest companies that we represent very proudly in the country, of course, Conchitoro, as you mentioned, we've been representing Conchitoro over 20 years now in Kenya. So Frontera, Casiero, these are some of our biggest selling brands in the country. We partnered with DGB recently. It's been a 3 or 4 years partnership
Okay.
with the largest South African wine portfolio. So they approached us, looking at our distribution of our other brands. They were very much willing to work with us. Then we partnered with the Treasury Premium Brands. So that's our Australian, New Zealand collection. And recently also partnered with Baron Philippe de Rothschild in France, so
Oh,
which is our
great.
largest French wine collection. So slowly, different wine portfolios. And the beauty about our wine partners is that they have a selection at every price point that we want.
Very important.
So this is why we order container loads, whereby we get different wine brands at different price points to be able to fill every gap that is in demand from the market. So, and also, like when we work with these guys, for us the most important thing is partnership and support. We do need marketing budgets, of course, to support our customers in exchange. So if I'm bringing fine wines, I want to support where I can do wine dinners with my clients. We can offer them some samples to try. We can do different marketing activities with them. Talking about our wine expo, yes, Viva was one of the first companies to have a wine expo. And when you had been there, so we did it together.
Yes.
So the wine expo, because we thought about it this way: we have wines from every single region, every single grape variety, and we have a huge portfolio. Why not have a one expo, invite everyone in the industry, hospitality, all our customers, wineys, influencers. We wanted everyone to see what we have,
Exactly.
taste, and give everyone an opportunity to know who we are, what we do. And at the same time, we invited our brand owners as well.
Yes,
So they
yes.
got a chance to interact with the Kenyan consumers and our customers, which was a really nice event. But yes, I think the pandemic is going now, which is good. So we're looking forward to have many more expos in
Yes.
the coming future.
It was quite.
With you.
Oh, thank you. I like that part, and I'm glad we got that on video because I will use it as evidence.
Yes.
But then it was so important to have something like that. I've organized one evening event, and it's usually such a logistical nightmare. You had multiple days.
Yes.
You had, invited guests versus ticketed sales for the consumers. You had classes going on as things are going. It was
Thanks
really
to you
nice.
for
I
that.
mean, class act, and we
Yeah,
look forward to
we
having
had
that.
600 people
Wow.
turn out in 2 days, which was one of my largest events that I had ever organized in my wine career.
Sure.
And I'm looking forward to do a bigger one, but obviously that will be next year, hopefully.
You will do Africa Pro Wine, right? And invite other collaborators.
African Pro Wine,
as
I like
well.
that.
Okay. I mean, again, the reason why you also actually involved educators in your
Yes.
program is because you've been one of the companies that has supported the Wines and Spirits Education Trust.
Absolutely.
Sending your own people and sending a lot of trade as well, and we appreciate you for that. My mind boggles me. Wine in itself is a big portfolio, like you've mentioned. You also have spirits,
Yes.
and you also have beers. So tell us a bit about the other side that we never get to hear about much.
So wines, of course, is our forte, but spirits is something, because we're supplying the same customers, there was a demand for good spirits to be imported. And a lot of big spirit companies have approached us, and we said, why not? I mean, if we are supplying a restaurant, why can't we supply a bar as well? So we also looked at a spirits portfolio.
Definitely.
We started with some really big spirit brands earlier, and eventually the spirits portfolio also grew. So we represent LVMH, which is Moet Hennessy. We have Jägermeister. We've just partnered with Campari Group, with Campari Bitters. On the beers, we are doing Corona, which is one of our fastest selling beer today. Stella Artois, we have Lafay. We have a small portfolio of beers, but we just thought to be a one-stop shop. So we
Okay.
have wines, we have spirits, we have beers, everything just in one. And this is how we work with these spirit companies, and we work with Source to be able to get a marketing support from them. And our company is known to be brand builders, so this is why people love to work with Viva, is because we build brands, and we represent these brands as if they are present here themselves, and with the help of our brand owners, and they've been very supportive in growing these products. So it's a partnership that we look at.
You look at, yeah. I mean, your wine brands are big market spenders. I can only imagine the big budgets that, help you support the spirits brands as well. Interesting thing. Can I ask about Corona and the pandemic? Was there like a dip in sales? Did people run away from the product and stop ordering during the pandemic?
So yes, hospitality was really affected.
Okay.
I wouldn't lie on that. I mean, everything had shut down. Nightlife had shut down. That was a a very shocking thing, especially in the spirits side. Wines, I think, wines it was okay. We saw a good return in retail. We did very well in retail. But the on-trade side, hospital, bars, clubs, everything shut down. So spirits, of course, were affected. And Corona, again with the name, I mean, retail, it did pick up well. So much home consumption.
Okay, great.
So home consumption increased during the pandemic. We also opened our e-commerce retail shop, Viva Global e-shop. But like I said, I think our specialty is more towards B2B.
B2B,
So yeah, this is it.
Great. To manage this kind of portfolio, I can imagine the logistics that is required.
Yes.
So do please tell us about, for example, your bonded warehouse or your process from source to the to the business, which is your consumer, right? As much as it's B2B, it's who you're delivering to your clients. What does that involve on the back end? Because I'm sure it's quite logistically crazy. We're talking about shipping problems going on right now.
We have a good team actually that manages the shipping and logistics side of the back end side, as you said. The only thing is it's been challenging. I wouldn't lie on that. Of course, especially after the pandemic, freight increased, shipment problems from other countries because of the pandemic, and we had a lot of challenges coming in. And then, of course, taxes being raised, the foreign currency fluctuation. So all of those things really made it very difficult on shipment of these products. So there's a lot of hard work and challenges back scene. As much as it all looks very rosy here, sometimes it's not.
Yes.
But it's been tough after the pandemic, but we're optimistic.
Okay.
It'll all be ironed out, and slowly we will pick up. Where we left.
How do you see the ecosystem has changed? Of course, you've been through multiple election cycles. For some, maybe just one or two. You've been through a lot for 22 years. And then now there was the pandemic that was unprecedented, and there's an upcoming election as well.
Yes.
What do you think about doing business in Kenya as a company, and perhaps how you've been able to overcome some of those challenges that are very specific to, I guess, Kenya? And wait, you're doing business in other countries as well. You can tell us about that.
So we have a travel retail company as well. So we have a shop in Kigali. So that's where we have our travel retail. So it's pretty easy because we have our own bonded warehouse. So that's okay. But other countries, it's been very challenging. We're currently just focusing more in Kenya at the moment because this is where our headquarters are. This is where I think Nairobi is on the rise, of course, with a lot more of new investments and things like that. But talking about the election period and of course, pandemic effects, some of those things, it's been challenging, very, very challenging. So we're not going flat out as yet. We're just seeing things where this year is going to be a bit slower. We just want to cross all these hurdles and then hopefully be optimistic that next year everything will be okay. Everything in this country sometimes is unpredictable. So you really can't tell what would be next. Nobody knew there would be a pandemic.
Oh, no. We had big plans.
Exactly. Everyone had big plans.
Yes.
But so we're not going that fast. We're monitoring the situation month by month and seeing, okay, how much stock do we need? How much are we selling? How much do we need? How much do we need to import? Again, taxes, price increase, like I said, foreign currency fluctuations. Quite a bit of factors we need to consider before going all out.
So not going all out and being slow perhaps means that you're not doing as many events as possible this year? Or does it mean, because I'm sure you're still pushing, say, you're a volume-based brand. And because you have, products across all the price points, I'm sure there's still opportunities where you can meet your targets.
Absolutely.
What do you mean in the go slow? What are you sort of not
So we are active as a company. Nothing has stopped. Everything is running as it is. But talking about bigger events and talking about huge expos and things like that, we don't want to get good to that direction as yet, because hospitality for us is very important. Again, hotels, restaurants, everyone has suffered during the pandemic time, and this channel is under recovery. Let's face it.
Yes.
And they are they're not that occupied as what it was supposed to be, or what they would be. Um, so we're giving our customers some time
Okay.
to recover once everyone's ready, and we will have also crossed the election time, and hopefully there will be tourism. And again, with travel challenges now lately globally, um, we don't know how tourism will be. So it's all a $1 million question.
Yes.
So we're just waiting for the situation to stabilize a little bit, and then go all out early next year and have the expo that you want me to.
No, we admire resilience. I know as a person, I know you to be a very resilient individual who has overcome very many challenges.
Yes.
And I'm sure even the business dynamics, you're a dynamo in the business space, you will definitely overcome that
Yes,
as well.
yes.
On a personal note, perhaps, what's the next big thing for you in the industry, perhaps?
um,
Other than your level 3 certification that you're looking forward to do, perhaps in the UK, is there, what's exciting that you're looking forward to happen?
my daughter's wedding.
And there'll be lots of wines and spirits
Yes.
shared at that. For the industry, what do you think is the next big thing for the industry as a whole?
For the industry, I think Kenya has an amazing future for the industry. After being in the wine business for so long, and the way I see the demand, the queries that come in, and how much people want to know about wine, from private buyers to our customers to hotels to everyone. During the pandemic, there was one positive thing that came out, is people being home and getting bored and don't know what to do, and people started looking at wine. Okay, what am I drinking? What is the difference between these two reds or these two whites? And what is a champagne? And what's the difference between a sparkling wine and a champagne? People wanted to understand the different drink strategies and get to know more
know
about
more
things they
about
had
it.
never bothered to. So, and not only that, so there was a big interest that came out of end consumers.
Okay.
And then, of course, with the new investment coming in on hospitality, of course, look at the hotel chains opening, so many new brands coming in. So that will open a door
Okay.
to bring in a much more variety, a bigger variety of the wines that are still not available in this country. So I think yeah. I mean, for me, different cuisine scenes. If you see nowadays, we have Japanese, Peruvian, we have different Italian restaurants coming
Yes.
up. We have so many different cuisines coming up. So people are interested in food and wine pairing.
Yes.
Trying to understand how can we pair, this wine with this particular dish. And thanks to WACT also, who have played a very important role for us. This is how we look at WSCT coming in and educating the food and beverage teams and the restaurant teams and the service crew, who are very interested to learn. And we've seen a huge increase in education on wines. Thanks to you for that. So you guys have done a great job as well. So
We wouldn't do
for
it
me-
without you. We definitely would not do it
with
without you.
partners.
Yes.
So I think education is very important. If we are in the wine business, people should know what is a grape variety, regions, climatic conditions, geographical conditions. All this contribute. And we see an opportunity, as in how Kenyans will learn that there will be a bigger room for growth.
For growth. Okay.
For the wine business, yeah.
No, great. So definitely the customer is getting more sophisticated, if I hear you.
Yes, yes.
There's the ecosystem that is, lending itself to better experiences and better wine.
Yes.
I know we chatted earlier about the chef you
Yes.
were talking about in Thai food and how it was challenging to pair that.
Yes.
And what did you end up with, actually? Maybe as you take us through some of your brands on the table.
Yeah, so I had to do a wine pairing with a Thai menu, as I mentioned to you earlier. It was very complicated because Thai food is so flavorful. It has lemongrass, ginger, garlic, very, very strong flavors. It has coconut. So I had to do a pairing for him. I literally was stuck. And then finally we figured out a rosé with a main dish.
Wow.
We did it. And that was a nice Boschendel Chardonnay Pinot Noir. We had to pair that
Yes.
with the red Thai curry. So that was interesting. And then we also found a lovely Pinot Noir that we paired with one of the other main dishes.
Okay.
So that was fun. Actually, Thai food and wine pairing was
Was an interesting challenge.
Absolutely,
And I mean, and we
absolutely.
should be able to do it even with local dishes.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
with
yeah.
Indian dishes. I know we spoke about earlier, you know,
Yeah.
Indian food is very spicy sometimes, and
Yes.
the fire makes it complicated in terms of what
Exactly,
we can choose.
exactly.
But this is great that we're actually thinking about that and not just thinking, you know, about the Shane Direct Source kind of events
Yes.
or that. As much
No.
as they're great, but then bringing this back to the people. So the customer is changing, and you're saying even the scene is changing in terms of, you know, who is operating in the market. And we hope with your marketing budgets, hopefully we'll be doing a lot more activities for people to enjoy around the world. Let's talk about your personal favorite wine, if any.
Boschendel.
Which one in particular? Is it one of the ones here?
So
And why
I'm-
do you like it so much?
So I've tried loads of wines over the years.
Yes,
I'm
yes.
sure you can tell. I actually I'm getting into Method Cap Classique lately.
Oh, super.
We do champagnes as well. From Moet Hennessy, I'll just like take you through our portfolio. So we do
So-
Moet and Chandon.
Yeah.
Of course,
That one
we have
here.
a huge portfolio on champagnes. Then we do Hennessy, Corona, Campari, Jägermeister, some of the very popular spirits that you all see in the market. And then on the wines, of course, we represent Bellingham. We have from South Africa. Then we have Don Melchor from Chile. Baron Philippe, the Rothschilds Mouton Cadet Collection, Boschendel, our favorite. Casiara del Diablo from Chile, of course, very popular in Kenya. Penfolds from Australia, Matua from New Zealand, and Boschendel Nicola, which is one of our new babies on board from DGB. So we have quite an extensive collection in the wine portfolio. And one of my favorite, like I said, I'm getting into Method Cap Classique. I'm trying to understand the difference between champagnes, cava, sparkling wine, and the
Yes.
MCCs from South Africa, which are pretty interesting to
Yes.
see that the MCCs are now coming up pretty strong. And South African wines, as you know, with Bossa, and I'm sure,
Yes.
they hold a huge chunk of the category of the wine business. So MCCs, I'm quite getting into those, understanding what exactly, how is the difference.
And I mean, it's young compared to, of course, the heritage champagne
Oh,
has.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
We only just celebrated 50 years of Cap Classique last
Yes.
September, it
Yes,
was.
yes.
And I'm glad to hear that you're launching this
Yes,
soon because
yes.
it's not been in the market. I
Yes.
know the Chardonnay Pinot Noir, so I'm looking forward to that. And thank you. Actually, you organized a trip to Cape Town, and you gave us an opportunity to go and taste a lot of the portfolio at Boschendel.
yes.
So I'm sure that's why the name is coming up and up and up.
It's a beautiful
But you-
state-of-the-art winery and
Yes.
very good partners,
Yes.
very strong partners with us. And we here are bringing the Boschendel Brut Rosé. In fact, this is my first MCC from Boschendel.
Awesome.
So we have a Brut and a Brut Rosé. So this is my personal favorite as of now, but I'm sure I'll be trying many more.
And like you said, your company fills in the gaps across all the price points.
Yes.
I think in a previous interview, someone actually said is, other than the regulation, I guess variety and diversity within a portfolio is a barrier to entry to sort of the newcomers. So you, one of the big boys who has been here for a long time, have that advantage over the others
you.
because you're able to provide diversity.
Yes.
But I guess everybody wins in terms of having choice and
Yes,
from the different
absolutely.
countries from a particular supplier. Which country do you think is hot? We've mentioned,
Currently?
we've mentioned that South Africa, of course, has been traditionally either by proximity or just because it's African for a long time.
Yes, yes.
Is there any newcomer country that's hotter than that right now?
I see New Zealand doing very well with certain Sauvignon Blancs and Pinot Noirs, and I think one of the best Sauvignon Blancs I have tried is from New Zealand. You will agree with me on that. I do see Australia doing very well
Very
as well.
well,
I think
okay.
they have done very well with their wines. New World wines, of course, so Shiraz, and the nice blends. I'm tasting quite a bit of interesting blends lately, Australian blends.
Australian blends as well.
So
yes.
Australians and New Zealand, I think beautiful countries with
that.
good potential to grow in Kenya. Yeah.
And you know, I want to visit them. I haven't been yet.
go together.
We'll go together. I'm getting so many promises here.
Yeah.
But thank you so much.
You're welcome.
MK.
Meera.
Thank you so much, Meera, for your time. I mean, this is really the beginning of a conversation. I'm sure we'll be back for
sure.
more, and we look forward to those launches and even that big wine show where we'll be together.
Absolutely.
And I really, really value the partnership you've had.
Thank you
So
so
you're the
much.
glamour of the wine industry, given your
I try.
experience and the extent of your portfolio. But thank you and
Thank you,
all the
Wanjiro.
best
Thank
to
you so much. Thank you for having me, and I wish you all the very best. Everything you do, and definitely looking for the Wine Expo coming up together.
Super. And there you have it. We'll see you soon. Thank you. Cheers.